What's going on, guys? Continuing on this whole FTM 101 thing, I thought I'd go ahead and talk about passing. Before I start this video, I just want everybody to know this is not a tips video, so this isn't passing tips, it's not binding tips, it's not packing tips. I will make videos like that later on, but right now it's just kind of general information that you may need if you're going to begin your transition from female to male, or even just, non-binary or something like that. That's more on the masculine side of things. Also know that you don't need to do any of these things if you don't want. This is completely personal. This is kind of like a generalization, things that you typically do and or see, etc., etc. So I'm just gonna touch on passing in regards to binding, packing, and being stealth. So that's what this video is. So first, with a lot of trans masculine people, they do like to bind, and there's a variety of ways to bind. I talk about this a lot. Binding is compressing the chest down to either look flat or like you have more of a masculine chest that may look more like pecs. One way is with a binder. Remember, if we get up to 500 subscribers, I will be giving this away. It's a size medium, black underworks binder, full length compression. This is one way, and binders come in all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes they're cut right here, so they're end at like your rib cage. Sometimes they're open in the middle with like clasps and whatnot. Sometimes they don't have arms because they got the clasps. Sometimes they're like more colorful. There's a variety of different, binders out there, and that's the safest way to bind. However, all binding is not great binding because there are still restrictions with a binder. Other ways people bind is ace bandages, sports tape, duct tape, etc. Those are the more dangerous ways, especially the tape, because it can rip your skin and cut you and whatnot. I do use the sports tape, which I made a video about, and that's, so you know exactly what tape I'm talking about. And it's great, I love it, but it does, cut me up, and I can't really use it too consistently because of the fact that it cuts me up, especially if I put more pressure and, try to... If I could just kind of have it like hanging there, it's not as much blistering, but it's still bad. Any type of tape will do some type of damage to your skin eventually, if not right away. Ace bandages are a way where people will wrap them all around their body. That's dangerous as well because that can, put pressure onto your ribs and lead you to having bruised ribs. You can even break a rib with binding. So just know that binding is dangerous, and just kind of be very cautious when you go and bind. Try to stay on the safer end of things, with binders and whatnot, but also know the restrictions, like only 8 hours and maybe not wear it to the gym and all those things. But I mean, I know there's a lot of us out there who do things that we shouldn't do, and especially in regards to binding, we'll go to the gym binding, we'll wear tape, we'll do this and that. So I'm not here to tell you that any of those things are wrong and to not do you, because I do me, but just know that there are dangers to this. However you do it, it's all personal up to you. Just know the dangers of it. Packing is when you make a bulge in your pants so it looks like you have something down there. Not everybody does this. Not everybody packs, not everybody binds, not every, it's all different and personal, like I said, but that's what packing is. There's a variety of ways you can use packers, whether you make one homemade, like out of a sock, or, the hair gel and condom way. I personally think a sock is easier because you just get a sock, bada boom, bada bing, you're all good. Then there's like the packers that they make, and STPs and play packers, which are meant for sex. And then there's packers that do all three of those, or products that do all three of those things. Sometimes they're called 3-in-1, sometimes they're called 4-in-1. I really don't understand the 4-in-1 because it's just, the reason they say it's 4 is because you get pleasure, but like, it's just an unnecessary number, but that's fine. This isn't what we're here to talk about right now. I don't actually have my packer in here, it's actually just chilling in the drawer. And I'm not sure that I'm completely ready to show you guys that yet, but maybe one day I will. Maybe when I talk about packing, I'll show you guys like the real prosthetic. But in regards to packing, like I said, you could do the simple way, or you can get a packer that looks more realistic and actually like more of a prosthetic. Packers are cheap, but once you start getting up to STPs, which are stand-up-P devices, which do what they say, then it gets more expensive, and then once you start combining those things, it gets even more expensive, especially when you want something that you can use for play and STP and this and that. There are some that just pack and play, so they'll have like a bendable rod. In my experience, pack and plays don't work for me. Like for packing, yeah, kinda, but for playing, definitely not because of the bendable rod. So this is what I mean by when I talk about bendable rod, and this is why I say I don't like them, because all this crap will work. It's like a crazy straw, you know? Like, just, I'm not about it. It makes noise, and it's just not sturdy enough. Like, if this was sturdier, it'd probably be a way better, you know, idea. I see where they were going with this, but it's just not sturdy enough, and yeah. At least in my experience of, you know, sexual endeavors, it's just not that great. Packers will range from anything from like a sock to something that resembles more of a penis. An STP is a stand-up-P device, which you can use to stand to pee, and sometimes you can use those as packers as well. Sometimes they're just something that you like carry in your pocket and pull out and whatnot. These products aren't perfect, unfortunately. None of them are. Just like binding isn't safe, some, you know, prosthetics aren't perfect, but oh well. In regards to play and or sex, however you want to call it, I prefer to call it sex. I feel like play just makes me feel uncomfortable when I use that word. I don't know why. It would be, you'd think it'd be the other way around, but it's not. I've never really had an issue with sex with any of these products, except, you know, pack and plays that have this stupid, annoying bendable rod. That's the only time I really had an issue, because it just wouldn't stay still. And I know if you know how sex works, then you're like, well, it's not going to stay still anywhere, because, yeah. But just the fact that things like this move way too much, and that's inconvenient for me, and it might be the way I do things, the way my experiences have gone with me and the, you know, the females out there who I've, you know, slept with and whatnot, and use that's just not something that works. I need something more sturdier. So other play products, or whatever you want to call them, prosthetics, etc., have worked better for me, that have more of a sturdier rod or whatever, you know, it may be. So far I've only actually used like 3-in-1s and pack and plays, so a sturdier rod definitely works so much better, and I enjoy that, where it's like flexible though, and not completely like, so it still has that movement, but it doesn't make as much noise. It doesn't move like insanely, you know, like a freaking contortionist. Really, honestly, with packers and whatnot, and STPs and 3-in-1s and 4-in-1s, it's really about you, and you need to figure out what's going to work best for you, because some, you know, people do like, you know, the little STPs that you just pull in your pocket. Some people don't pack, some people don't do this and that and that. And lastly, when it comes to passing, is being stealth. So when you go out and people don't know you're trans, that's basically what stealth means. And because I actually didn't touch on passing, or dysphoria or anything like that, I would think you guys would know, because that's why you're here. I would think you would know what we're talking about. But passing is obviously when you go out and people don't know that you're trans or whatever. They just see you as whatever gender that you identify as, and they're like, oh, that's, you know, a male. If I walked outside, they'd be like, oh, that's a guy. So that's me passing. And on that same side is me being stealth, if they're like, oh, that's a guy, and they're not like, oh, he's trans, you know, right? So that's, those two, I think, really correlate with one another. But there's nothing wrong with being out either. And I think I have a pretty healthy balance with being stealth and being out. So it works for me. It took me a really long time to find peace with that and find that balance, because at first I was super out, and then I had to turn it to be like super stealth, and, you know, now I think I found a healthy balance in between the two. And, you know, some people choose to be stealth and some people choose to be out, and that's completely cool. And then some people are like on my page where it's, this means equal, apparently. My jazz hands. That means they found balance in being stealth and out, is what that means. I will do some tips on binding and packing and all that stuff later on. If you want, I can talk about sex more. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you want me to get in more detail about. I can do a review of, pack and plays. I can do a review of Peacock 2. I could do a review of the Peacock Gen 3S, but except for the play on that one because I have not used that one for play. But I would think it would work almost the same way as the 2, just differently in regards to my pleasure. Let me know in the comments below what you guys really want to see, and that's what I'll give to you. All my information is in the description box down below. Everything is just like at Caden_Lopez505. If not, then it's like Caden505 or whatever. But yeah, so it's all down below, and you can hit me up and message me or whatever. Also, I apologize that these like FTM 101 videos are just mainly transmasculine, and I do want to aim to be, inclusive in every way, and especially in trans feminine areas. But because this is called FTM 101, I thought it just made more sense to stay transmasculine. So I will bring up, trans feminine stuff eventually, but right now, since it's like FTM, it made more sense to me to stay transmasculine, because at first that's where I was going, but if I called it Trans 101, I would be a little bit more everywhere. But since I called it FTM 101, I'm gonna stay on like the more masculine aspects of things. And if you are trans feminine, go ahead and hit me up, and maybe we can talk and start a dialogue between that and do a video together or something, collab, whatever. If anybody out there wants to collab, let me know. If you want to collab, if you just want to talk, if you want to anything, just hit me up in any social media that you have, that I have, and that's it, pretty much. Video ideas, questions, all that good stuff, hit me up and I'll give that to you. Also, if there's anything you want me to hit on specifically, like I said, let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, from both of us to you. Don't wonder I'm single. Hopefully this video helped you out. Like it if it was informative, or tell me if it didn't help at all, and I'll do something about that. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because when we hit 500 subscribers, somebody is going home with this binder. So let's do that. Yeah, we're really close. We're getting up there, so hopefully we'll be there soon. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. See you guys next time. Peace out.